If you want to know how to fast track your vocabulary learning and have the words actually stick, then today's video is for you. If we haven't met yet, my name is Salome. I'm a German teacher and polyglot, so I speak 5 languages myself and have learned a thing or two about effective language learning through the course of my life. So in today's video, I'm going to share some of my top tips and strategies that will help you learn new words quickly and also retain them. Also, bist du bereit? Los geht's! Let's start with Mindmaps. Mindmaps are a great tool to expand your pool of words around a certain topic of your interest and needs. For example, I love doing sports and naturally that's something I'll talk about a lot. So let me show you an example of how you can incorporate Mindmaps into your learning. So first I create a list of words that I use frequently when talking about this topic in my mother tongue or in English, for example, and then I throw them into DeepL. DeepL then is going to generate all of the words in German, and for the nouns I also want to make sure that I include the in the beginning of the noun. So for example, the gym or the treadmill, so that it's also going to generate the German article for it, and I have that for my mind map as well. Next, I'm going to write down the words in my mind map just like this. So mind maps are great for language learning to help you visually organize information, associate words with related concepts, and foster creativity. I also have this template linked below that you can download for free if you want to make mind maps for yourself as well. On the second and third page, you'll also find a template to fill in example sentences, and you can duplicate that page as many times as you want, which leads me to my next point. Just using mind maps is not going to help you learn and practice how to use these words in sentences, and context is what's going to help you retain the words long term. So once you have created your mind map, you want to move on and put these words into practical sentences you would likely use. If you don't have any foundation in learning German yet and you just want to have some phrases on hand for different situations, you can brainstorm these and then throw them into DeepL. Like for example here. If you already have some foundation of German, you can create these sentences on your own and have ChatGPT correct it for you. So you simply say, check and correct this German sentence for me, and then you fill in the sentence that you want to have corrected. Like for example here, I purposely filled in a sentence that is wrong and have ChatGPT correct it for me. Then you can also ask for feedback on that sentence, and ChatGPT is going to generate an explanation or a feedback based on the mistakes that you've made in that sentence. I do need to mention here though that ChatGPT is not always going to give you the correct answer. So if you can, also double check with a native speaker. If you don't have anyone to provide you with feedback and you want to study German with me, I am taking new beginner students for my signature program, the German Fluency Academy. It's designed to help expats and professionals become confident and conversational in German in the most effective and efficient way. Each lesson also comes with all of the vocabulary and digital flashcards, so you don't need to create these by yourself. If that sounds like something you're interested in, the best way to get started with that is to join my 60-minute free taster lesson. I'll link that below and I would love to see you in class. Another great way to learn vocabulary fast is through the Post-it challenge. For this, you'll need different colored Post-its, ideally in 3 colors, as there are 3 genders for German nouns, and then you'll write the German words on them and stick them on the item accordingly. You can not only do that with nouns, but also with verbs by writing the action you do in that room or with that item. Let me show you a few examples. You get the idea. My students love this method as they can easily incorporate revising vocab into their daily life once the post-its are done. And one of my students even made it a fun mix and match game with his 3-year-old granddaughter, who said learning new vocabulary needs to be boring. Another thing that I use for learning new vocabulary is this little notebook right here. I always have it with me, and whenever I encounter new words, whether that's something I see when I'm out and about or a word that I need when I'm having an interaction in the target language, I'll look it up and write it in my notebook. That's a really nice tactic because by the end of the day, you'll have a list of 5 to 10 words that are related to your daily life and that you've learned in context. So it's easier to remember. You can also keep this notebook as a digital notebook on your phone, and yeah, I use both for learning Thai. Repetition is going to be your best friend if you're learning a new language as an adult. And for that, I highly recommend using the app Quizlet. It's a platform on which you can create digital flashcards. It's super helpful to learn and revise new words and phrases. You can also download this app onto your phone, so it's easier to squeeze in some study sessions when you're on the bus, in the doctor's waiting room, or whatnot. If you know me, you know I love to switch things up and make learning fun and interesting, which leads me to learning German with music. This can be a super fun way to expand your vocabulary if you have a little bit more time to invest. I actually have a whole tutorial right here on how to get the most out of this method that you can check out next. Whatever method or strategy you're using, one of the most important things you want to do, especially as a beginner, is to keep your vocabulary organized. Whether that's a physical or digital notebook, a folder, or a spreadsheet, that's totally up to you. Pick what works best for you as long as you're keeping everything organized. Otherwise, it can get overwhelming and frustrating really quickly. Now, I'm curious to know which of these methods will you try out for yourself? What has worked for you so far, or what are some of the challenges you're having with learning new vocabulary? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out the free training for beginners that is linked below as well if you want to learn more from me. And I'll be back next week with another German lesson for you guys. Das ist alles für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!